Jaya Shri Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jai Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe Jai Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe Jai Radha Damodar Radhe Jai Radha Damodar Radhe Jai Jagannath Jai Baladev Jai Subhadra Jai Jagannath Jai Baladev Jai Subhadra Jai Sudarshan Jai Gauranitai Jai Gauranitai Jai Gauranitai Jai Gauranitai Jai Jai Prabhupada Jai Jai Prabhupada Jai Jai Gurudev Jai Jai Gurudev Harinam Sankirtan Jai Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Dev Shitarine Hare Krishna. Thank you so much everyone for joining Bhagavad Gita session. This is our greatest fortune that on a weekly basis we come together and hear the transcendental message which help us to get delivered from the suffering of this material world. Because this place, this material world is a place of suffering. There is crisis at every stage, at every step there is a crisis. And we do not want, but we have to go through the crisis. Maybe personal, professional crisis in relationship, financial crisis. So many ways we get suffering in this material world. So this knowledge helps us to navigate through life and achieve the perfection. So that's why this is our biggest investment. We should give time. We should hear about the words of God. How we can achieve the perfection, how we can navigate through the problems in life. And in this process we are learning, when problem is there, how to take shelter of higher authority, how to take shelter of Krishna, because that is the only shelter, that is the only protection. Like in this material world, because of ignorance, not having understanding about self, not having knowledge about the supreme soul or supreme source, God, people take shelter in so many ways, in so many things, in so many people. Yes. So sometime people taking shelter of their wealth, power, position, they think that these different opulences or the whatever facilities they have, that is going to protect them. Sometimes people take shelter of many other things like technology, all different security system, and they think that will protect. Or sometimes maybe family members, relatives, they will protect, and then based on that they take complete shelter of those things or people. It's not bad. We should make arrangements to avoid problems in life so that we can very smoothly we can uh, grow, or we can navigate the problems, I mean go through this life and achieve the perfection. That is fine. But one who is in knowledge, he knows that all these are temporary things. This is not the final protection, or this is not the ultimate shelter. Now, we can make arrangements, but ultimately all these arrangements, because it is temporary in nature, it will fail. It will not give me shelter. That is what we discussed in our last session, how Krishna is saying, uh, um, uh, so he is the swift deliverer from the cycle of birth and death. No one else can deliver us from the cycle of birth and death. Our arrangements, people in this world, they can be of some help. They can give us some facility, some help, some assistance. But no one can deliver us from the cycle of birth and death. No? So that's why scripture, or this process, we are learning how to take shelter, either in good time or bad time. When time is good, we take shelter. Do we take shelter? Let's discuss this point. When good time is there, do we take shelter of God? Yes? No? Huh?
Gratitude is shelter.
Gratitude? Shelter? I mean, yes, one we can say, like, this is one good word, gratitude. Because Krishna has given us so much, God has given us so much. So we become grateful for that. This is good. Even many people, they are not grateful. They just receive and keep on receiving, but they are never grateful for that. But intelligent people or good people, they are grateful for everything they receive in life. So this is one thing. When we receive, we become grateful. But when we do not receive, in that case, can we become grateful in that situation also? Or like last time we were discussing about, when situation is favorable, we become thankful to God. God has given me everything. Let's reciprocate a little bit. Let me be thankful for that. But when we see adverse situation in life, in that situation, what is our response?
We do pray.
Huh?
Prayer is there.
Prayer, of course, but
Initially, it wasn't like that, but gradually, as we are moving ahead, I mean, we tell ourselves, if there is some mercy, there is a better plan. God has, maybe that was not good for, I mean, you keep telling
that's
us.
true, yes. This is after getting the knowledge.
Little, yeah, as
Yes.
you're proceeding further.
Once you get knowledge, once you know the truth, the reality of this world, then even in adverse situation, you see the hands of God. You see the mercy. Maybe God is responding in a different way, but we know that Krishna is our best friend, and whatever he is doing is for my good. I mean, he is doing something good for me. So that is a very advanced level of understanding, and that comes when we receive knowledge, when we practice it, we develop our faith in Krishna, then we gradually advance in this kind of consciousness, and that is what our purpose. We are developing our faith in Krishna. We are raising our consciousness to this level that Krishna is my best friend. Krishna is the supreme protector, and he will help me in so many ways. No? So he reciprocates in different ways. So his mercy. So this is very advanced stage. But initially, before coming to Krishna consciousness or not having this knowledge, whenever some adverse situation is there, what do?
Why God me?
Blaming.
Why me? Why me?
Criticizing others, blaming others. No, any circumstances, any situation, we start blaming people, blaming the situation, and finally we blame to God. Why this happened to me? Why God is so merciless? Why he did like this? So like that. So of course, yeah. So this is what we have to understand. kind of attitude in particular situation and circumstances. So this knowledge, which is helping us to understand the reality of this world and understand the purpose of our life and how to navigate through the problems in this life and achieve the ultimate perfection. Not get stuck with something or something temporary, right? And like we could see the example of last time we discussed. You remember the story of Ajamil? Not Ajamil.
Gajendra.
It was Gajendra. It is our story, right? When I ask that if the time is favorable, if the time is favorable, of course we may be grateful, but most of the time we don't go to God. We just engage ourselves in so many different ways of enjoyment and everything, right? Mostly when bad time is there, then sometimes we approach, so okay, for some prayer. These are all different categories of people. People having faith, they will go to Krishna, they will do prayers, right? This kind of thing. But people who is not having faith, Gnostic people, like they will start criticizing, complaining, even they will they will go away from Krishna. So these are all based on the people having faith in Krishna. So yes, but the good thing, either we have faith, we do not have faith, or due to crisis, or due to some good fortune, or the facilities we have received, if we approach Krishna and be grateful for that, or offer obeisances and means we take shelter of Krishna, that is our perfection. That is real protection. So in the life of Gajendra also we could see the same. He tried his best to get out of the clutches of the crocodile, but he could not save himself. All his family members, relatives, everyone, they were there in front of him, but they could not do anything. Yes. So finally he took shelter of Krishna, and Krishna protected him, delivered him. So this one thing we must remember always. Whatever we can do best, that is fine. Whatever facilities, system we can develop, that is fine. But we should always remember that ultimate shelter is Krishna. So our priority is how we can develop that faith and how we can take shelter of Krishna. So like in this chapter 12, we could discuss as of now, like yes, so many ways to take shelter. So like discuss common people not having any devotional approach, they may take shelter of their opulences, their facilities, their people. Little bit advanced people who have faith in God, transcendentalists, they may have faith in different energies of the Lord, maybe the demigods, or maybe the impersonal form of the Lord, or some people, advanced people, may be directly taking shelter of Krishna. So in this chapter, basically when we started, Arjuna inquired about it. So which means taking shelter of impersonal form or your personal form, which one is better, which one is best? So we had a detailed discussion about it. So Krishna's recommendation, he said both is fine, because ultimately both leading to the same goal. Purpose is God realization, taking shelter of Krishna. So one is impersonal, when somebody having faith in impersonal form, they do austerity or gain knowledge. And one is directly engaging ourselves in service of Krishna, that is called devotional, pure devotional service. So both is fine, but finally he recommended that devotional service is best. Why? Because it is easy to perform. It is a direct approach. There's an indirect approach, there is a direct approach. Yes. So one small example we can take to understand. For example, you are staying on 100th floor, top. That is what is called that?
Penthouse.
Penthouse. At the top, you have to go there. You reach there, and there are two options available. One is lift, and another one is the staircase. So which one you would like? Huh?
Yes, how fit you are.
How fit you? That is also there's a condition. Huh? There's a story behind it. Few friends, they decided to go to USA, New York, and they wanted to just let's go and enjoy life there. So and they decided, okay, we will stay at the top of the floor, penthouse, so that we can see the view in the evening. Okay, in the morning they went through the city, and after roaming around here and there, they came back. They were very much tired, and finally, when they came to their stay, there, and got to know that the lift is not working. So let's try. Let's go through staircase. Why to waste time? Because we are here for limited period, and why not to enjoy the full list? Huh? Let's go at the top and see the beauty around. Huh? So all the four friends, they decided to use the staircase, and they started journey. Now somehow 40th floor.
Once you'll reach, you'll have no attraction.
So there, after in between, they decided, oh, see, it's a long journey. Why not to speak about and then tell some stories. So this way we will easily, so we will pass our time, and we will achieve our purpose also. So let's discuss some stories. So everyone, they started speaking their stories, and they were very happy hearing. And one person was very much silent. He didn't speak anything, and by the time it was happening, they could reach at least at 90th floor, and they started saying, "Why are you not speaking? You also must have some story. Tell me. Let us know. Just another few floors are there. By the time you can speak something." Okay, I have one story, but that is very horrible. I don't know whether you would like to listen that or not. No worry. Don't worry. Just speak. And by the time they reached very close to the floor, he said, "We have reached here, but now I remember that I forgot the key at the reception." So, yes, we can make so many arrangements to pass our time. Thinking that, okay, these facilities will help me. These people will help me. By the end of the life, we will realize that no. Tesham pramatte nidanam pashyannapi ne pashyati. Even these, the things I'm dependent upon, they are also temporary. They are also going to die. How can they save me? How can they protect me? So we should have this clear understanding that no, Krishna is the ultimate protector. We can make so many arrangements, that is fine. That is our duty. But we should always remember that that is not the ultimate shelter. The ultimate shelter is Krishna. So we should give first priority how I can develop this attitude of taking shelter of Krishna. Because we have limited time. So here Krishna now he is speaking about that different levels of shelter. We can take shelter of Krishna at different levels are there, like different stages of bhakti is there. Similarly, different levels of shelter is there. So he is not excluding anyone. He is saying that anybody, whatever you are, you can start devotional service. You can engage yourself in devotional service. So now onwards, he is going to speak about how you can engage yourself in devotional service. So first of all, like 6th and 7th verse, we read that. He said, "Ye tu sarvani karmani mai sanyasta matpara ananyeva yogena mama dhyayanta upasate tesham aham samuddarta mrityu samsara sagara bhamamina chirat patha maya veshita chetasam." But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Partha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So this is what Krishna declared, that the impersonal realization, or that impersonal worshipping impersonal Brahman, that path is very difficult. It's not for common people, but devotion is for everyone. Anybody and everybody can do that. And this is the direct way of worshipping Krishna. And what Krishna is saying, if somebody is taking Krishna's shelter, then he is the swift deliverer. He can deliver everyone, means who is taking shelter. And that is what even Prabhupada writing in purport, that Krishna has promised this. Sarva dharman pariteja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami ma sucha. I will deliver you, do not fear. So now 8th onwards. Mayyeva mana advasta may buddhim niveshaya nivashisyasi mayyeva ata urdhvam na samshaya. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus, you will live in me always without a doubt. So this is the first stage. Fix your mind and intelligence in me. Means fully absorb in Krishna consciousness. This is very advanced stage. Always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna. Always engaged in service of Krishna. That is very, very advanced stage. One who is engaged in Lord Krishna's devotional service lives in a direct relationship with the Supreme Lord. So there is no doubt that his position is transcendental from the very beginning. A devotee does not live on the material plane. He lives in Krishna. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are not different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna and his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. Means when we are chanting the name, chanting means Krishna's name and Krishna, there is no difference. So when we are chanting, Krishna is with us. So devotee is never alone. So when he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables, and the devotee becomes Krishnaized by eating the remnants. So one who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so. Although this is a process recommended in Bhagavad Gita and in other Vedic literatures. So Prabhupada is saying that yes, this is the process which is mentioned in all the scriptures, how to develop your relationship with Krishna. So when you are chanting his name, when you are engaging yourself in his service, like especially offering food, taking prasadam, these are all different devotional engagement. So we can experience it, we can realize only when we practice. Right? So without practice, we cannot realize this. It's a subject matter of realization. Atachittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mahi sthiram abhyasa yogena tato mam ichchaptum dhananjaya. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. So now, if somebody, maybe at this stage, we are not fully Krishna conscious, we are not that much devoted. So what is the option? So now he's saying that if somebody, he's saying that if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. Like there are some rules and regulations we follow in Krishna consciousness. The same, these activities like chanting, waking up early in the morning, taking bath, doing some worship, then chanting our rounds, reading Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. These are all regulative. These are all rules and regulations in Krishna consciousness. So it is mentioned that if we cannot fix, then what we should do? We should do our the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. We should follow that deliberately, consciously. It may be difficult. This is called austerity, transcendental austerity. So we should do these activities, because ultimately what will happen when we follow this practice or regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, then gradually it will develop attraction for Krishna. If you do not do, then it is very difficult. Abhyasepi samathosi matkarma parmo bhava madartham api karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. What is the third stage? If you cannot practice, then what you have to do? What Krishna is saying? Work for whom? For Krishna. How can we work for Krishna? Like somebody is not chanting, reading, hearing, nothing is going on, not engaged in devotional service directly, and doing some work for Krishna. What is that?
It's just that whatever work you're doing, you're offering the results to Krishna. Is it?
That is another stage that will come.
Distribute the serving
Huh?
the devotees,
Distribute
serving
the
the devotees, temple cleaning, distribute the
Yes.
Bhagavad Gita.
Very good. I mean, working for Krishna. Working for Krishna means, of course, these are some activities wherein you can participate using your intelligence. Like if somebody is some work you are doing. There are so many work which is required in temple service. So working for that. You may not be able to do so many rounds of chanting, but at least if you're using your intelligence and doing some work, maybe somebody is like running a construction company and temple construction is going on, so can facilitate in that, can help in that. That is a devotional service.
Yes, we
Huh?
did it actually in
Huh?
this political sector with laying the bricks,
Yes. See here what Prabhupada is writing. One who is not able to even to practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga under the guidance of his spiritual master can still be drawn to this perfectional stage by working for the Supreme Lord. How to do this work has already been explained in 55th verse of the 11th chapter. One should be sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness. Number one is being sympathetic. Means like devotees, they are doing, they are preaching, and so how we can help them to propagate the message, that is. There are many devotees who are engaged in the propagation of Krishna consciousness and they require help. So even if one cannot directly practice regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, he can try to help such work. Every endeavor requires land, capital, organization and labor. Right? These are the basic resources which is required for any work. So just as in business, one requires a place to stay, some capital to use, some labor, and some organization to expand. So the same is required in the service of Krishna. The only difference is that in materialism, one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that is a spiritual activity. What is the difference between you are building your house and you're building a temple? What is the difference between these two?
One is for Krishna.
One is for Krishna and one is for the self. Yes? Yeah. So there is a difference between. So when you work for Krishna, that becomes a spiritual activity. But again, like devotees, they are building their home. Another difference we should understand. It's not that building home is material activity. But when you build, not knowing the purpose, just for sense gratification, just to enjoy your life, that is material activity. But if you know that, building your home means being a devotee, you are building a home wherein you are going to develop your Krishna consciousness, or you're going to utilize that resource or facility to advance in Krishna consciousness. That is a spiritual activity, right? But if the purpose is not there, then it is just for sense gratification, then that is material activity.
So, Prabhuji,
yeah.
people who will help to do all this, they also have to be Krishna conscious. Otherwise, why would they?
These are different levels I'm talking about. Maybe initially, like when we come to Krishna consciousness, we may not have that much faith. And gradually, by engaging ourselves in services, we develop our faith. When we go through the reading, hearing, chanting, and gradually when we are in association with devotees, and we see the difference. We see our faith is developing, right? So Krishna is speaking about different stages. Like if somebody cannot engage his mind and intelligence 24 hours in Krishna consciousness, so he's suggesting, recommending another process that, okay, if you cannot do this, then what you have to do? At least try to follow some regulative principles recommended in Bhakti Yoga. And if you cannot do that, even for so many people, it becomes very difficult. Waking up early in the morning, taking bath, going for Mangalarti or doing chanting or reading and hearing, it's very difficult. So at least, if not possible that, then you should work for Krishna. Like you're working, so how you can utilize your work, or you can do some support, some service to propagation of Krishna consciousness. That is also devotional service. This is what Krishna is recommending. Yes. So there are there are various fields of activity, and one should be interested in such activities. If one cannot sacrifice the result of his activities, the same person can still sacrifice some percentage to propagate Krishna consciousness. So this volunteer service to the cause of Krishna consciousness will help one to rise to a higher state of love for God, whereupon one becomes perfect. So the point here, I'll just make it clear, because sometimes people think that, okay, I remember one devotee just came to me and showing these shlokas, that devotional service is not the only way. Krishna has given so many ways. Right. So I'm in the last category. So I think I can do that much, that is fine. Why Krishna is speaking like this? Why Krishna is giving all these different stages or different ways to serve? It's not that you remain there. Because this is, once you engage, seeing your current situation, once you engage yourself in Krishna consciousness, that will help you to advance. That will help you to develop more faith, or rise from that stage to the topmost stage, that is pure devotional service. So, because sometimes we see that, okay, when we give example of big devotees, so much sacrifice, so much love, so much attraction, dedicated whole life, for us it becomes very difficult to even imagine that. It is not possible for us. Of course, that is very advanced stage. But we have to see, seeing our condition, our situation, how we can start. So that solution Krishna is giving. If you cannot do this, do this. And now he is going to say, okay, if you cannot even engage yourself in such kind of service, if you cannot work for Krishna, what is that? If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work, and try to be self-situated. If you cannot work, at least be detached from the fruits of your action. Do not be attached to the result. And also Prabhupada explaining how we can do that. Means, like you see, sometimes people are not in Krishna consciousness, they don't have this consciousness or giving to the God. But they are engaged in so many other activities, social service, like Prabhupada is mentioning here. That it may be that one is unable even to sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness because of social, familial, or religious considerations, or because of some other impediments. How many of you experience it? You know now that Krishna consciousness, that is, this is our goal of life. We have to develop this. We have to develop our love and attraction for Krishna. And of course, for that, we have to follow some rules and regulations. But there are so many impediments. We are unable to follow because of so many different obligations. Society, what they will say, family members, some restrictions are there. Then in that case, what to do? So, if one attaches himself directly to the activities of Krishna consciousness, there may be objections from family members or so many other difficulties. For one who has such a problem, it is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated result of his activities to some good cause. Such procedures are described in the Vedic ritual rules. There are many descriptions of sacrifices and special functions of punya, or special work in which the result of one's previous action may be applied. Thus, one may gradually become elevated to the state of knowledge. It is also found that when one who is not even interested in the activities of Krishna consciousness gives charity to some hospital or some other social institution, he gives up the hard-earned results of his activities. That is also recommended here, because by the practice of giving up the fruits of one's activities, one is sure to purify his mind gradually, and in that purified stage of mind, one becomes able to understand Krishna consciousness. First of all, to understand Krishna consciousness, we should have purified mind, right? Without purity of mind, it is very difficult to understand. It's very simple subject matter, but it's very difficult. Even big intellectual people, no, they cannot understand it, because purity of heart is the criteria to understand Krishna consciousness. Now, this is another recommendation, that if somebody, maybe due to some obligation, due to some obstacle, not able to participate in Krishna consciousness directly, then it is recommended at least doing some kind of social service. And what is the purpose? When you do some social service, gradually it will help you to purify your heart, right? So this is what. But again, Prabhupada is saying in purport that for purity of heart, it's not that before coming to Krishna consciousness we have to purify heart and then come, because Krishna consciousness itself is a purificatory process. It's a process. When you directly engage yourself, your heart is going to be purified, right? So Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other external activities, that first you have to purify. So one process, like we are learning, one is a step by step, you know, that okay, like we know different yoga system is there. First let's go through karma yoga, being detached from the results of activities, and let's go and now develop the knowledge, that is called Jnana yoga, developing knowledge, understanding who am I, who is God, understanding our relationship with God, and then further advancement is there in Dhyana yoga. These are all different steps, right? So after Jnana, you advance to Dhyana yoga, meditation. And you then in Dhyana yoga, you practice, so hard practice, so difficult practice. And finally, you realize yourself, you realize God. So this is one way. This is like a climbing through a staircase. One after another, you are following the steps. But another direct approach is, that is Krishna conscious approach. When you come in association with devotees and you engage yourself in Krishna conscious service, that will automatically purify your heart. So in that respect, social service, community service, national service, sacrifice for one's country, etc. may be accepted, so that someday one may come to the stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Bhagavad Gita 18.46, we find it stated, Yata pravittir bhutanam. If one decides to sacrifice for the supreme cause, even if he does not know that the supreme cause is Krishna, he will come gradually to understand that Krishna is the supreme cause by the sacrificial method. So directly, indirectly, if we are engaged in some service, so that will help us to develop our faith and develop knowledge. So like Prabhupada is mentioning, even if you do not know that Krishna is Supreme Personality or Supreme, He is the cause of all causes. But if knowingly, unknowingly, if you engage yourself in service, then there will be a time when you will realize it, you will understand it. And that's why you see devotees in Krishna consciousness, their only purpose, somehow or other, they go and connect people, directly or indirectly. Harinam Sankirtan, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, distributing prasadam, or doing any kind of service, the purpose is somehow or other to engage people in service, connect people. And we all can explore our journey. When we started our Krishna conscious journey, from then until now, we can explore, we can do some introspection, we can see some difference, some change in thought process, right? So gradually, we advance. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasa agyan dhyan vishishyate dhyanat karma phalatyagat shanti nirantaram. Yes. So this shloka, what Krishna is saying, if you cannot take to this practice, now for example, even if you cannot do any kind of service, any kind of social service, national service, if you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. So these are the different steps Krishna is speaking about. So knowledge, because when we start getting knowledge means understanding who am I, understanding God, right? So like we are doing, we are getting knowledge. So this knowledge will help us to realize ourselves, will help us to understand the true purpose of our life, and then gradually we will engage ourselves in service. And that service, by the service we experience, service means practicing whatever knowledge we are receiving, we start practicing in life. And that practice gives us some realization. And when we realize, when we experience, that help us to develop more faith. And when you develop more faith, then you go further, you advance, right? So when we do not have any kind of realization, then that will not inspire us to do it again and again. So it's all about practice and service. So as mentioned in the previous verses, there are two kinds of devotional service: the way of regulatory principles and the way of full attachment in love to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So basically two ways of devotional service. So this is called, one is practicing devotees like sadhana bhakti we are doing. We are following some rules and regulations. So this is practicing devotees. And one is very advanced devotee. Advanced devotee means they are so much attached to Krishna that they are always absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Means no external force is required. Like for us, somebody's chasing, like, no, let's go to Mangalarti, let's go to this. So that force is not required. Because the person is so much attached that he is always hankering after Krishna. So that is the difference between. So these two categories are there. For those who are actually not able to follow the principles of Krishna consciousness, it is better to cultivate knowledge. Because by knowledge, one can be able to understand his real position. Gradually, knowledge will develop to the point of meditation, Jnana Yoga, then Dhyana Yoga. And by meditation, one can be able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by a gradual process. So there are processes which make one understand that one himself is the Supreme. And that sort of meditation is preferred if one is unable to engage in devotional service. So if one is not able to meditate in such a way, then there are prescribed duties as enjoined in the Vedic literatures for the Brahmanas, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, which we shall find in the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Point is the same. If somebody cannot get knowledge or meditation or engaging in the rules and regulations, like Varnashram system, some rules and regulations are there. And the purpose of this Varnashram system is so that we can lead a better way of life, pious way of life, and gradually this pious way of life will help us to advance in Krishna consciousness. So in summary, to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the highest goal, there are two processes. One process by gradual development and the other process is direct. We have already discussed. Devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the direct method, and the other method involves renouncing the fruits of one's activities. Then one can come to the stage of knowledge, then to the stage of meditation, then to the stage of understanding the Supersoul, and then to the stage of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So just remember these steps. If you want to realize God, if you want to know Krishna, then one process is this. First of all, Nishkam Karma Yoga. There are another category. This ladder we have discussed many a times. So if you see the yoga ladder, in that yoga ladder, and before that, one category is called Karmi. Karmi means not having any understanding about soul, not having no purpose, spiritual purpose in life. Their purpose is just to enjoy their body and senses, mind, whatever. Just this body is the only thing, and they work only to enjoy their senses. Karmi. Yoga starts when somebody realizes So that is called Nishkam Karma Yoga. Huh? And means Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga, there is Sakam and Nishkam Karma Yoga. So again, Sakam means following rules and regulations, but attached to the fruits of that activity, attached to the result of that activity. That is called Sakam. Nishkam Karma Yoga, working but not attached to the result, offering it. That is called Nishkam. So that is the first stage. If we are not attached to the fruits of the result, then we develop further. That is what we advance and we receive knowledge, and that help us to meditate upon the form of the Lord or the super soul. That is meditation process. And finally, these yoga processes help us to understand who is Supreme Personality of Godhead and how we can take shelter, how we can serve. So when we engage ourselves in service, that is called Bhakti Yoga. So this is direct process. One may take either the step-by-step process or the direct path. That direct process is not possible for everyone, right? Everyone cannot go through this process because we have very limited lifespan and we are not that much strong, or so many weaknesses are there. So therefore, like Rajiv Prabhu said, that everybody cannot follow when we gave the example of going through the staircase, who can use that path? One who is strong. Somebody old may not think of going through the staircase, right? 100th floor, can wait for some time. Let's wait. So it is not common path. It is not for everyone. So therefore, the indirect process is also good. It is, however, to be understood that the indirect process is not recommended for Arjuna. It is not recommended for Arjuna. What about us? If it is not recommended for Arjuna, indirect process, our condition is very bad in that case. So because he is already at the stage of loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord, it is for others who are not at this stage. For them, the gradual process of renunciation, knowledge, meditation, and realization of the Super Soul and Brahman should be followed. So if somebody is not in Krishna consciousness, if they are following some path, maybe step by step, that is okay. But ultimately, if somebody wants shortcut, anybody from wherever they are, if they come in association with devotees or devotional service, their journey is going to be faster and easier. So, but as far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, it is direct method that is stressed. Everyone is advised to take the direct method and surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So here Krishna very clearly is giving different stages, how we can, whichever situation we are in, how we can develop Krishna consciousness, how we can advance from one stage to another. So this is a homework. We can do some introspection. Let's discuss this, because so that we will make it very much clear. What do you think? Which stage you are in?
प्रभु जी कभी ऊपर जाके भी कभी नीचे वापस आ जाते हैं, थोड़ा मतलब इधर उधर होता रहता है.
It's a mix of things.
Yes, no, that is fine. It will be there. Ups and downs.
वापस आ जाते.
I have a question. In 12.10, Prabhupada has said that you can give percentage of your fruits to propagate Krishna consciousness. And then later on in 12 we talk about Nishkam Karma Yoga also. Isn't 12.10 easier than Nishkam Karma Yoga to perform? Sacrificing some part of fruits for Krishna consciousness as compared to completely renouncing the fruits. That's
No,
very
complete
difficult.
renunciation is, that's what he's saying. Because complete renunciation
Of fruits.
is not,
That's
complete
Nishkam Karma
renunciation
Yoga.
of fruits means, that is also not easy. That is an
Very
advanced
difficult
stage.
process.
That is advanced stage, of course. Actually, what happens, like in Karma Yoga, people may be detached from the fruits, but they are attached with the action. They think that I am the doer. That attachment is there. So at least better to be detached from the fruits. When it comes to contribution, if somebody, like that is in devotional service. If some in maybe in devotional service, engaging ourselves, maybe not totally detached, fully detached. We are not fully detached, but at least starting some service, and that is what it is mentioned. That whatever action we are doing, whatever resources, whatever we are getting through that action, a part of that contributing for service. A part of that. When we directly take Nishkam Karma Yoga, then that process is speaking about that you have to totally get detached from the work or the fruits of the action. But when we come to Bhakti Yoga, because if we say that only after 100% renunciation from the result, you will come to Krishna consciousness. That is not, means we are closing the door. But Bhakti Yoga, Krishna has opened the door for everyone. From wherever you are, you can join this. Right? So if somebody may be having lots of attachment with the fruits, with the result of his action, still you can be a part of this. You need not require to be 100% detached from the fruits. Yes, whatever you're getting, at least start some contribution, so that will help you to develop detachment from the results of your action.
So someone like me would probably contribute towards temple, do some surveys, do some chanting, follow the collaborative principles. So I am doing mix of multiple things out of these verses.
I'm trying to
This is fine.
understand what he's trying to say. I haven't followed.
Okay.
The two.
I mean, this was something. One is like some. One, we are talking about 100% detachment from the results of action. And one, we are saying that when you are engaged in devotional service, then you should contribute something. That contribution is like developing detachment from results. Right? These two things are there. So that's what we are discussing, that at initial stage, being 100% detached from the result of your action is not possible.
Of action means any
Action
activity.
means whatever you're doing, like you're doing job, business,
Okay.
whatever you're doing.
All right.
So why you are doing? Because you want some facility, you want some money,
Exactly.
and that money you're using for yourself, for your family members, for
Yes.
your country, for your society,
Yes.
right? I mean, these are all extended version, but ultimately you're doing for something yourself,
Yes.
not for Krishna consciousness, not for God,
Yeah.
or propagating Krishna consciousness. So that's what we discussed today, that maybe we are attached, we are doing for self, but at least some contribution, some service, this will help us to develop detachment, or will help us to purify our consciousness, our heart. And this purity of heart will help us to understand Krishna. Any activity we are doing, we have to understand the purpose also. Even if we are doing donations,
Right.
we are doing charity, we are doing some social service, we should always remember, we may be doing big things, but if we do not have right understanding behind that, if we do not have proper consciousness behind that, then the purpose is defeated. Because many people, they are doing charity, but the purpose of charity is what? So that I can get some result, punya karma result. So if we have that kind of mindset, that I will get some name, fame, praise, or I will get some benefit, like many people, karmi people, they do that. If you give it to the brahmanas or some donation or something, in next life you will get return. So investment, it's a kind of investment. So if you do with that consciousness, that will not purify the heart. So these are all different stages. I'm not saying that something is good or bad. All these things is showing the mirror. We have to know where I am and how I have to advance. Only doing service, social service is not sufficient, but what I am doing, why I am doing, that we must understand. So, of course, at this point of time, whatever we are doing, it's mixed. We are not pure devotees. We are on the process. We are following the process. And there will be some mixed activities. That is fine. But knowing this will help us so that we can focus on purity, or develop the habits or services which can help us to advance in Krishna consciousness. Anything else in this subject matter?
In this not in this subject matter, Prabhuji. I want to ask. I heard some saying that वो हर सांस के साथ आपको जब वो वाला स्टेज आ जाता है, you have to say भगवान जी का नाम, जो भी आप नाम आपके गुरु ने दिया है जिसमें. But I want to ask that I was wondering, पर ये अगर अभी तक तो किसी गुरु से और कोई नाम तो नहीं दिया, तो यही वाला महामंत्र पता है. How can one do that हर सांस के साथ महामंत्र?
No, like you're chanting, you have started your chanting. You're chanting. So this is a gradual process. Whatever we are reading, hearing, understanding how to chant, like every morning you join, you understand the glories of chanting. First of all, we should develop this faith. We should understand what this power, this holy name is. And we are trying our best gradually. We are putting our effort to chant the names. So over a period of time, with the right consciousness, if we keep on chanting, then we will experience this.
Like
The
Ram
chanting-
is a small word. Ram, भगवान राम जी का word short है. अब वो छोटा है और राधा भी छोटा है. अब महामंत्र को कैसे आप
No. See, but the point is, maybe it's a mantra. Mantra means so many names are there. When you chant one Maha mantra,
Yeah.
so you're chanting the name of Radha, you're chanting the name of Krishna, you're chanting the name of Lord Ram. So all these are combined together there. Right? We are chanting in the form of mantra. So we need not to worry about that.
In one breath you can do that.
Even if you chant just Krishna, that is okay. But because this is a recommended process, the mantra is there. So if we chant, we get ultimate benefit. So I'm taking your question in a different way now. How you will remember or how you will chant this name 24 hours a day? This is a practice. When you keep on chanting or do your sadhana sincerely, and when you develop understanding about Krishna consciousness, when you go deeper into Krishna consciousness, even if you do not speak about, you do not chant Krishna's name. Chant means you're doing something else, but within your mind, this Mahamantra will go on. You will always remember Krishna. Your all activities will be centered to Krishna. Chanting 24 hours doesn't mean that you have to just hold chanting beads and sit down and chant. That is also one process. But we cannot do that. That's a very advanced stage. Right? Like Srila Haridas Thakur. He used to chant 22 hours. 192 rounds every day he used to chant. And then after he used to eat his food. And within 2 hours all other activities. That's a very advanced stage. When we hear about such exalted personalities, we cannot copy, we cannot imitate, but we have to follow the footsteps. We should take learning that how somebody is dedicated, somebody has taken shelter of the holy name. So we have to also develop that taste. Because this name is not different than Krishna. And once we take shelter of Krishna, he will protect. Nothing else will protect us. So this gradual practice, sincere effort, with the right understanding and right consciousness. Whatever we are doing, we must do with the right understanding and consciousness. Because ultimately, attitude, it's not just the activity, but the intention behind that activity. The attitude, that is very, very important. So like giving charity, doing some service, but why I am doing, we must be very much clear. Otherwise, we will get benefit. But that is again temporary benefit. Right? When it comes to charity, like as per scripture, if you give charity to any ordinary people, like we go to give beggars and all, we give some service, charity, then you get some return. And what is that return? In next life?
Good karma, punya.
Here some calculation is there. When you do charity to common people, you get the same amount of money in next life. Return. So return on your investment. So means you're giving some facilities, clothing, house, means you're preparing. These are all punya karmas. When you do something, you get in return. Right? Common people. And when you give charity to brahmanas, half brahmanas, not completely pure, full pure brahmanas, not like that. Somebody who is a brahmana. Brahmana is not by caste. Brahmanas, there are sama, damas, there are qualification in Bhagavad Gita. Some genuine, somebody who is practicing Vedas, knowledge of Vedas, and practicing, living that life, not just making a business. So what happens then? I don't remember the exact figure, but I'm just giving you an idea that if you do charity to such kind of people, then some return is bigger, some 1,000 times greater investment. Means you get bigger result in that. Similarly, something is there. If pure Brahmanas are there, then you get many folds benefit. We are not going to get into this. This is all karmic, karma kanda I'm talking about. These are all karma kanda. The karma kanda people, whatever they do with some expectation. Sakam karma. I will get something. And that's why they do this. So, but when you do charity to a Vaishnava, like Vaishnavas are above the Brahmanas. Brahmana means Brahmaiti Janati, one who knows that I am soul. He is a learned person. But Vaishnava means not only knowing himself, not only knowing about Krishna, but he is directly engaged in service. A person who is realized, a person who is directly engaged in Krishna consciousness. So when you get into this Krishna consciousness, doing charity or doing some activity in Krishna consciousness, what will you get then? Not only you will get one Swami, he was speaking, I don't remember the exact example, but he said like in Bhagavad Gita also we read, when you do punya karma, so because of your punya karma, you get some nice family. You take birth in a good family. You get some wealth, some opulences, right? Because of your punya karma, you get it. And because of bad karma, you get some suffering. So because, let's say, if you have done bad karma, and at the same time you have done lots of good karma also, then you may take birth in a good family, but maybe not able to utilize those resources. Maybe some kind of physical problem or something. You may not enjoy those resources. Or you may become, I'll not use that example, but Swami, he was speaking like, because of your bad karma, you may become a dog, but in a rich family. Because good karma, you took birth in a rich family, but because of your bad karma, you become a dog.
You'll be pampered,
Even those,
care of.
You remember, nothing is by chance. Even a dog in a rich family is not by chance. It is because of his punya karma. He is there in that rich family getting all facilities. So if somebody, maybe good karma or a Krishna conscious karma, he is engaged in Krishna conscious karma. Though all these topics we mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, we have discussed that. Yes, devotees, first of all, they take birth in rich family, pious family, or the second option is devotee family. So because of your action, even you get good facility, not only good facility, because facilities, we know all these are temporary things, but for devotees, they get devotion, which is the topmost achievement, love of Godhead. That is very rare. Krishna can give you anything and everything, but this is very rare. Like Dhruva Maharaj, we see the example. At the age of 5, he left his home, he went to jungle, and he did so tough, so difficult austerity just to get a kingdom bigger than his grandfather. Who is the grandfather of Dhruva Maharaj? Brahmaji. So he wanted a kingdom bigger than Lord Brahma himself, the creator. And Narad Muni, he tried to make him understand, no, you are very small age, very young age, very small in age, and this is jungle, no animal can kill you, go back home. He rejected. He was a Kshatriya. He said, no, if you can help me, so no, you speak to me, otherwise please let me go. Finally, seeing his determination, Narad Muni gave him a mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chant this mantra. And he did it sincerely. Within 6 months, so sincerely he chanted, he did all austerities. And Vishnu, he was there in front of him and blessed him. You ask me whatever you want. Do you want a kingdom bigger than your grandfather? Now what he is saying, now what is the use of that? I wanted the piece of, I was here for piece of glasses, but now I got the diamond. Why should I look for that? But Krishna is merciful. He said, okay, no, anyway, you have come for this. I will give you this, and I will give you what you want, that also. He gave his love, and at the same time, he gave the kingdom, which is Dhruva planet. So this is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. Whatever we are doing in Krishna consciousness, there is never no loss at all. Because of our pious activities, we may get some good facility, but we don't know how long that is going to be with us. And that's why Krishna everywhere in Bhagavad Gita, not only in this chapter, in every chapter, directly, indirectly, he is indicating, speaking that direct devotional service is the best approach, and it is very rare. So like we have received this mercy, it is very rare. Now understanding the value of devotional service, engaging or whatever instructions are there, recommended process is there, we should sincerely follow that. So yes, that will give us the topmost benediction, that is love of Godhead. So now next section we will discuss in next time is that is, now Krishna is going to speak about different qualities. Who is more dear to Krishna? What are those qualities? Like we are talking about devotional service and devotee. So there are like devotees having so many qualities. What are those qualities? Who is more dear to Krishna? That is the last section of this we will discuss about. Because we all want to become dear to Krishna. Yes.
So I have another question. This is from last class on Krishna being a swift deliverer.
Yes.
Now if you look at Prahlad Maharaj's life at a very young age, he went through a lot of suffering. His father tried to kill him, threw him from the mountain. Aunt tries to set him on fire, burn him to death.
Yes.
And finally also he's trying to kill him. Then Lord Narayan, Narsimhadev came and saved him and all. So what was swift in that? He went through so much of suffering through at a very young age.
In this situation, if you see, what was the situation, what was the condition of Prahlad Maharaj? Was he very much, he was crying, he was praying, please protect me, please help me? Was it?
No, he was always
He was happy.
chanting. He was happy, yes.
He was totally 100% dependent on Krishna's mercy. Of course, this is one point, but this is very important to understand. Now, this how Krishna reciprocate. Sometime he will give you so much, and sometime he will take everything from you. In both ways, Krishna is doing mercy to you. He is showing his mercy. We may not accept it. That is what we started our discussion with this. That when we receive from Krishna, we think this is Krishna's mercy. But when Krishna takes something from us away, then we think that no, this is why Krishna is doing like this. But advanced stage, we have to understand this is also mercy. So when something bad is happening in devotee's life, so there are two reasons behind that. One is because Krishna wants to set some example through his devotees, like Pitama Bhishma, all exalted devotees, Parikshit Maharaj. So they are not ordinary people. And Krishna, they are the pure devotees of the Lord. Pandavas, they are the pure devotees of the Lord. But they are going through so much suffering. When we, common people, not devotees, when they get suffering because of their karmic reaction, because of their karma. No? Because of their karma. But devotees, they get suffering not just because of their karma. This karma is because anyway, once you are in pure devotion, once you have taken shelter of Krishna, Krishna is saying that I will free you from all sinful reaction. So they do not suffer because of their karmic reaction. They suffer to set example. And we can see live example here, Srila Prabhupada. He did so much. I mean, in every aspect of his life, you see family life, you see business life, means family, profession, and even after coming in Krishna consciousness, means he was always in Krishna consciousness. But when he started even preaching activities, so many hurdles, so many challenges, so many times he got failed. There was a failure. And even one statement, Prabhupada is saying that in my whole journey, I was depressed, suppressed, all this beautiful statement. But he said, but I never gave up. I was always engaged in Krishna consciousness. I was always endeavoring, serving Krishna. And then Krishna showed his mercy. It's not that after achievement. He said Krishna's mercy is always with me. Either when he was means external point of view, even in failure or in success, Krishna was always there with him.
So what to speak of devotees? Even when Bhagwan came as Ram, Shri
Yes.
Ram, I think as any avatar, Bhagwan also had to go through many
Yes.
things. Yeah.
No, that is again, miss, good point. Here I'll just conclude with this learning, because today let's take away something we should, this is very important, how to lead a better way of life. Today morning, His Grace Nitai Prabhu, he was delivering lecture, especially it was based on crisis. So, because today also we are discussing the same topic, so how we can develop our faith in Krishna, how we can advance in devotional service, Krishna consciousness, amid means between these crises. So first of all these examples we are discussing, Prahlad Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, Lord Ram, whoever, we have to accept it that this world is a place of suffering. Anybody and everybody. It's not that when you become a devotee, you will not suffer or you will not get problems in life. Sometimes people may say that, okay, when you are in devotion, there's no problem. No, problem is an integral part of this material world. Dukhalayam ashashvatam. This is sansar davanal. This is forest fire. Suffering is must, whatever you are. Now, the second point, yes, suffering. So this reality we have to accept. And now we have to prepare for suffering. Prepare for how to face that situation. Like if some problem is coming in your life, what do? You do some preparation for that in advance or not? Or let it come, then I'll face. If you know that, like he gave an example that if you know that a cyclone or maybe hurricane or whatever, some natural disaster is going to happen, you got some prediction, some natural disaster, earthquake, some problem is going to come within few days, what will you do?
Disaster management.
Huh?
Disaster management.
Disaster management, you will start some preparation, right? You will do some preparation. Similarly, what we are doing, we are preparing ourselves. We are preparing for death. A spiritual life means preparation for death. Nobody prepares for death. This is most surprising.
Yes.
Huh? Everybody knows that one day I will die, but nobody prepares for that. This is the biggest quack in life, right? Nobody wants it. And we know that. One day I have to go through this. I have to die. But nobody prepares for that. This is called ignorance. But intelligent person, now once we know that there's a problem will come. So let's prepare for that. And that preparation is not in bad time. At that time you will just make some adjustment. Like many times people, when they are about to die, they call us, read some Bhagavad Gita, do some chanting, do some spiritual activity. That is last moment adjustment. But intelligent people, they do some preparation. Okay, I have to face this challenge, let me do some preparation. And that preparation is in good time. Like for right now, we are in good time. We have so much of facility. So we should not sit idle or enjoy those facilities. But we should think that so many people suffering, so many people, even they do not have, they are struggling for survival. But by Lord's mercy, counting the blessings in our life, so merciful Lord is, so much facilities in my life, time, health, everything God has given me. Let me utilize it. Let me prepare myself. So second step is we should prepare. When we know the reality, we should prepare for that. This is preparation. And finally, we know that our preparation is taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. That is our ultimate preparation. Because we know all other arrangement, we may do that. But that is not the ultimate protection. We may have huge amount of money in our bank. But at the time of need, may not help. I mean, all these, I'm talking about any facility you talk about, that may not help. I see big people having lots of money, facility, power, position, everything. All of a sudden something happened. They are just behind the bar or suffering, struggling, no help. So we always remember that we can try our best, we can make arrangements to lead our life in a better way, but our ultimate protection is Krishna. Our ultimate shelter is Krishna. So this preparation, we have to do it now. We do not have to wait for the last moment that, okay, at the last moment we'll do something. No. should remember. So these three steps: knowing the reality, accepting the reality, means preparing for that, and finally taking shelter of Krishna. That is a spiritual life, devotional service. Right? Any other question?
I like to add something.
Uh,
There's a quiz type of a thing. Someone draws a line, a straight line, and they're asking that we make this line shorter.
yes.
Not by cutting, not by rubbing, not doing anything. How do you make this line shorter? Everyone is trying the permutation commission. One person comes and draws another line which is bigger
Bigger
than
line.
that. So each time, for me, it always comes like that. If I see कि अच्छा चोट लगी and I just feel कि something bigger could have happened, this is smaller.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with it.
That's
कि ये छोटी
another way
है,
of
तो बड़ी
thinking.
चीज भी तो हो सकती थी.
Yes.
So that way I just feel कि oh I'm blessed कि कोई बड़ी problem नहीं
This
है.
is devotee's approach.
Yeah, so that it's smaller for me, it could have been bigger. And I feel happy that yeah, God has protected me in this.
Yes. Krishna is so merciful. This should be the approach. When we face problem, we should have this approach. This is what the approach of all the devotees. They see that Krishna has there might be a bigger problem, but Krishna by mercy, His mercy, I'm getting less punishment or less. An advanced stage, you see Kunti Maharani, she is praying for problems. That is a very advanced stage. We cannot imitate. We can pray, oh Krishna, please do not give problem. Engage in your service. We cannot imitate. But see, the point is anything which is helping you to come closer to Krishna, that is your success. Even big opulences, facilities, but if it is taking you away from Krishna consciousness, that is biggest loss. This is what we have to understand. Alright, so nice discussion. I mean, so many practical things. So whichever stage we are in, we should introspect. We should understand now how we can take or accept the direct process of Krishna consciousness, and whatever time we have, facilities we have, association of devotees, how we can take best benefit of that and advance consciousness, Krishna consciousness. Thank you everyone. Hare Krishna.